Don't any of you have the guts to play for blood?
I'm your huckleberry. That's just my game.
All right. Looks like we're live. Everybody, I hope you are having a wonderful day. We finally hit 300,000 subscribers on this channel, and I figure I'd come join you for a moment. It is my middle son's 16th birthday. So I can't be on here long. We got a surprise for him, and he's going to be getting out of wrestling from school within like an hour or so, something like that. So I don't have too much time, but I wanted to come hang out with you and celebrate with you and say thank you for helping make this possible. Like without you, this would not be possible. And, you know, it's awesome to hit this, many people who are following and saying, hey, we appreciate, we enjoy, or we like watching some of your content. You don't even have to like all of it. You might just find certain content that you like, and that's okay. I really do appreciate all of you. I wanted to update you as well about where I'm at, what's going on, all of that, since that one video that I did where I described my panic disorder, and I've been playing the tape back. And so maybe I should wait. Maybe we should just first cheer on, and then I'll update you guys. Like this whole thing is kind of crazy, the panic disorder thing. So anyway, thank you, James. First person to comment over here, 300K. Woo woo. What up, James? Thank you. AF Walker, I've been bothering Derek for years now. History Valley in the house. Go subscribe to James and History Valley if you haven't already. Be sure. Lots of interviews going on over there with Jacob Berman. Lots of scholarship. He is doing his thing. And, don't stop doing what you're doing, Jacob. Mike Frank, way to go, brother. Thank you, Mike. Reinhard, thank you so much. Congrats on both things. Yeah. Awesome and insane. Anthony, can we break bots and slay demons here? Of course you can. Matt, good to see you here. I like the ones with you and Neil together the most, but all the content is good and informative. Yeah, me and Neil have chemistry. We cook it up when we're together. You know what I'm saying? It's me and him just going off each other, trying to get this information because we've been reading so much wild stuff. And it's really fascinating. To give you an example, this latest, greatest book by Ian N. Mills. If you haven't, I've interviewed Ian Mills years ago, but I plan on interviewing him again soon. The Hypotheses of the Gospels. The Hypothesis of the Gospels. Narrative Traditions and Hellenistic Reading Culture, which, again, it's in that vein of Robyn, Walsh, and others who are obviously going down the kind of classics New Testament route. And on the very opening in the book says, the four Gospels were not the only books in antiquity to retell the same story. Ancient readers had their own language for describing works that retread the same narrative ground. Different versions of a story were imagined as sharing a narrative core called a hypothesis. Early Christian readers adopted this conceptual model in order to describe gospel literature, legitimize its pluriformity, and limit its diversity. Even before the term hypothesis appeared explicitly, however, readers imagined gospels in roughly the same way. Christians did not radically reimagine the literary character of gospels at the end of the 2nd century when hypothesis language first appeared. Rather, the components of this model are already present in the earliest evidence for the reception of the Gospels. The standard model for thinking about pluriform narrative traditions in Hellenistic literature culture shaped the production and interpretation of gospel literature from the very beginning. Again, last sentence. The standard model for thinking about pluriform narrative traditions in Hellenistic literary culture shaped the production and interpretation of gospel literature from the very beginning. So Hellenistic literary culture shaped. Here we are again with this kind of like, how much impact did the Hellenistic world have on the Christian literature, the gospel material? You know, how much? Is it only literary structure? Is it only elite authors? Or does it go down to the very narratives themselves in some way, shape, or form? And of course, can't help but plug Resurrection and Reception in early Christianity. But my boy Richard Miller, who recently helped me kind of figure out what's been going on with me, what's happening to me in terms of my whole panic stuff. You know, I brought the book up in my last video that I launched on the channel, and I figured I'd wait for some of you all to join me. You know, it comes in waves. Very difficult to explain, but I've been struggling with this for 15, 20 years, as far back as I can remember into high school. My dad thinks it's from when I was young that I had these panic issues. I really know that they got heightened from doing drugs. You know, I'm 10 years off of opiates, alcohol, all of the crazy substances you can imagine. And I think it was when I was abusing the amphetamines that I ended up in a really bad situation where I think I started to have the fear, the anxiety that came along with whatever happened, you know, during those 5 days of staying up. I always try to pin it down to that day. And in the book, it calls it agoraphobia. But this has been 15 years. I've been living with this moment where I have a moment where I feel like I'm going to pass out, but it goes away. And I usually try to think my way through it or try to breathe. And I didn't even know how to properly breathe. You're supposed to like breathe in 4 seconds to the nose, hold it for 7, release slowly, calm yourself down, and you can usually get your body to chill out. Other techniques, a lot of comments came on that video to help me out and try to like chill me out. But yeah, I figure I'd update you just to tell you like what I'm doing. I'm hitting the gym. I'm eating better. I'm drinking lots of water. I'm trying to get plenty of rest and take care of my body, because I did not expect to lose control of how you feel. And the panic, the crazy part about this whole thing, for those who don't know, fear, the core of panic disorder. Fear of panics lies at the core of panic disorder. This kind of fear is very closely related to the term anxiety sensitivity. The term means that in addition to the unpleasantness of anxiety symptoms, there is the belief that the symptoms themselves are harmful. And Dr. McNally, who has studied anxiety, anyway, it goes on and on. Like, I'm reading this book, it teaches you methods. I think half the battle was figuring out what's wrong with me. And like that I have been like freaking myself out unaware, because there's a feeling that comes with panic that you can't shake. It feels like you can't shake. But when it starts to onset, you can actually breathe and calm yourself down and actually get rid of it. That's the crazy part. Okay, so I rambled there for a second. Bear with me. I'm going to try and say hey to all of you. Daniel Whitaker, congratulations on 300K. Hit that like button. Yeah, get some noise going. Kyle, congrats on 300K. Thank you so much, Kyle. The 13th Aeon, so happy for you. Have you ever checked out Alex Collier? Very interesting gentleman. Happy birthday to your 16-year-old. Thank you for the happy birthday. I have not ever seen Alex Collier. Wade Rogers in the house, late to the show, but it sounds like good news. Absolutely. And Deborah says, glad you're okay. Yeah, I'm glad I'm okay. I'm glad that it's nothing physical, as in like blood work, scans in the chest and the brain. They did all of that because, you know, my grandmother and my uncle both died of brain tumors, brain cancer. And then one had surgery, but then died of pneumonia because of it. So I didn't know what was wrong with me. And finally, you know, I decided to go. I could have gone now that I played the tape back. You ever have moments where you reflect back in the past and you think about the experiences you had, you recall those moments? Well, what sent me into the emergency room, I had several factors taking place at the same time. But like my tongue started feeling numb. I needed to breathe, but I didn't know how to breathe. I didn't know what was wrong with me. My blood pressure was high. So I'm freaking out because I don't feel right. And so I go to the emergency room the next day. I waited. And then the symptoms of migraines and dizziness and blood blurry vision set in. So it's physical. Now I'm like, yo, something's wrong with me. Really, that was just me not drinking coffee because coffee was making it worse. So I'm like, okay, no coffee. I'm not obviously normal. So I said, okay, I'm gonna figure out what's going on with me. And my buddy Rick Miller actually helped me identify what's wrong with me. And I'd say about 50 to 60% of whatever, maybe more. It might be a higher number. I don't know if you could put a number on it. Fear of losing control of the panic causes you to panic more. And that's like a huge like tool to know. So when I'm feeling like I don't feel right, something's feeling off, I feel that anxiety, I can start to breathe, or I can distract myself or whatever. And if your blood pressure goes up, some people were saying put ice cubes on your vein, to like calm your heart. So your heart's telling your brain, hey, the blood is cool. You don't need to be pumping so fast. About 6 to 7 months ago, I'm in the gym and I'm doing these. Sorry, it's blurry, but I'm doing skull crushers with 70 pounds. Okay. Now I had there's a bar that was 70 pounds. And I'm just going and doing these skull crushers, but I'm standing up while doing it. And I get such a pump that my arms felt like balloons. Like they felt like, I'm full of blood. Okay. I'm pumped up. I'm trying to get, exercise going. And my heart rate is going really, really like to the point where I feel numb. My whole body feels numb. I had a moment as I'm like, honey, my heart rate's way too high. I don't feel right. My blood pressure's too high. I started getting anxiety and I'm walking out of the gym. Now, I did not know what was wrong with me. As I'm walking out of the gym, I said, hold on, I need to sit down. I had the worst feeling. I thought it was physical. It feels physical. I had to sit down in the gym and really breathe and told her, please give me some water. Please give me some water. Something's wrong. Like I felt like I was about to flop on the floor. Emergency was supposed to come in and pick me up off the ground and take me out of here. This was like 8 months ago. And somehow made it through those moments. And she brought me something to drink and I calmed down. I was like, whew, man, I can't work out that hard. I'm like thinking it's just the workout. Nah, I've got something going on that's been going on for a long time. And now it's like different symptoms are attaching itself to it. It's weird. And I've been like always athletic, always outdoors. Usually my whole life I've been like a go. And so I can only, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, it was probably when I was abusing drugs in my life when I was younger that I did something along the way that messed it up or did something with my wiring. Like this is how my mind is working because it's trying to figure out what's wrong with me. Anyway, I'm updating you on my health along the way because, that's really been like an extreme situation for me that I wouldn't wish on anyone. I really, really wouldn't wish that on nobody. And each person is going to be in a different situation in their life that might experience these things. I've saw the love. There was like about 1,000 comments on that video, which is really good. Lots of people are talking and a lot of you relate. That's what really blew me away. I was like, yo, I'm not alone. This seems to be a normal human thing that people have. Yet this book even describes that, right? It literally says like, it is estimated that the incidence of panic disorder in the total population is about 3.5%. Many people experience panic who do not have panic disorder. They have a panic in a stressful context. For example, when taking a test or speaking in public. Also, a fair number of people experience occasional out of the blue panics, but only a small percentage of them go on to develop panic disorder. So you're actually learning about what the heck seems to be going on with you. And yeah, everybody has anxiety is kind of how I look at that. It's like different forms of it. But it feels like some crap's going on. And I'm like, I got to get a grip on this. And so I'm doing it. Anyway. Anthony, I love promotions and money when Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 silver pieces. I love promotions and money when Judas. I don't understand. Is that a question? Is that yeah, not only that, I think the story of Judas actually is mimetically lifting, in my opinion. There's several different places in the Hebrew Bible, but I would say the Joseph story. I always go back to the Joseph story and But I don't understand the promotions part. I don't. Malarca, Atlantis is your hidden. The Irish, Welsh, Scots, and English have been found to be genetic blood brothers of the Basque people. Secret Holy Grail scientists revealed this is true history. They hid, look it up, and pass it on. TWPB, early Hellenistic literature was the first, where writing authorship wasn't just a vessel for propaganda from the ruling authority. Hellenism brought a new age of creativity and all. Love it. Mushroom, are we relapsing publicly today and privately this time? Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I loved the support of so many of you in the audience. About 10 years ago, I started a YouTube channel called Derek Lambert, and I documented my getting clean. I was 5 days off of heroin, and I was withdrawn on my couch, and I was alone, and I documented and kind of just told kind of the scruff of my life, some of the struggles. Then I did a day 7 video. Then I did finally a day 30. I'm going to meetings, doing all this stuff. And I started a channel that was just like vlogging kind of how to get clean and what helped me get clean and things like that. And so I've been very transparent about my weaknesses, about my life, about flaws and issues that I've had just as a human being that I think so many more people relate to than people who don't. And I have close friends, mostly just one major friend who's like, man, I wouldn't go public with your information because people will try to weaponize it against you. There are people who hate what you do. They don't like you. They will look at it as some way of trying to knock you off of your throne, so to speak, or try to make you look like you're batshit crazy or whatever. And I'm like, I hear you, but I've always been transparent. And honestly, every time I've always been just open and honest with everybody. Not only is my life happier by being that way, and I feel more fulfilled, but it also is a good behavior or habit to have in case you are going through something in life. You're going to repeat good behaviors and be honest with yourself. Because one of the things I did when I was in active addiction was lie or kept to myself, right? We isolate. We don't want to connect. We don't want to bond. We don't want to reach out and say, hey, I'm struggling. I'm going through something. Do you relate? Can you understand? Are you there for me? That kind of stuff. And so I know that MythVision is mainly about mythology, history. We do all that, and that's always going to be what it's about. But I'm like, look, I've seen a lot of you as family, a lot of you as friends and family over the years in the comment section, supportive on the similar journey. And based on that last video that I was able to just open up and say, hey, here's what's going on. I can now see that so many more of you are human and are struggling with similar things in life. You know what I'm saying? So take this, for example, as a troll, right? Someone who's being trollish or trolling. And you're going to get that no matter what you do. But my friend was like, man, I just wouldn't be honest because I wouldn't open up about those things. I'd keep that between you and your family. And I'm like, I didn't do that with my addiction. And, they have anonymous groups for that very reason. People can get fired. I mean, some jobs have stigmas about people who have certain issues in their past. And when you go to these recovery rooms, you're very anonymous. You're able to make up a name if you want. Hey, I'm so-and-so and I'm whatever. And then you tell your story or whatever, and you guys connect. A lot of these groups are like that. And I've always taken it outside of those anonymous groups and always been public with my other YouTube channel, which has led to helping tens of thousands of people who are dying from heroin addiction, fentanyl, cocaine, methamphetamine, various drugs in their life. And me telling you my personal information like this, believe it or not, it might help you. It might help someone, which is always amazing and helpful. But at the end of the day, it helps me the most. It helps me the most just being open and honest and transparent because there's no bullshit involved, So anyone who's cooking up comments like that, you have to keep in mind, either don't understand or there's some bitterness or something. I don't know. Anyway, Bruce, thank you for the comment. What's up, folks? Earth says cannabis. Michael App says, congratulations. Keep showcasing Miller. He is top shelf. I agree. Miller is a family man, so he has to provide. He has his own career that he's trying to take care of, but I do always try to nudge and go, when's the next book coming out, brother? When's the next book coming out? Because he always has keen observation, rigorous scholarly work, and I appreciate him so much. James Apperson in the house. Love you, brother. Love you. Literally know James personally. And again, even with your voice, I could just listen to your voice and it'll calm me down. You got such a relaxing voice, man. MythVision podcast. I also have anxiety attacks, which made me think I was dying. I called 911, legit thinking I was having a heart attack. Dude, it's no joke. And that day in the gym 8 months ago, I realized that wasn't the first time that this kind of thing happened. Oh my God. I've had so many episodes in my life and didn't know what it was. And it just, getting older, more pressures. We just bought our house for our family. This is the first house I've ever purchased for my family. And, I'm finally, doing what is right. 10 years off of everything. I was not making any money. I was strung out. I was hooked to drugs. You can go watch my other YouTube channel, Derek Lambert, and my brother's trying to get clean and off drugs too. Even right now, my brother, he's fighting for his life, literally, and doing the best I know how. And trust me, sometimes I get in the way and I'm a problem for my brother because it's difficult. It's hard to deal with. I'm doing the best I can, but all of things in life, right, come down on you. And I wish I had it like some folks where I don't have to worry. I don't have to pay, massive bills to provide for my family. I just rely on the government. There were days back when I was really bad off where we were on food stamps. We were broke. We lived in a very small house. Didn't have, much, in terms of the American dream, right? Didn't have a lot, and come a long way, being successful in life, doing the best I can. And then, other issues come up. I have a son who struggles with depression, and he has other issues. And I'm like, man, life can build up. Life can be very, very tough. And it also makes me a bit sensitive to the people who have faith for coping reasons, because it's so tough sometimes. You almost have to sympathize and go, man, there's a sense of relief somehow they get out of this, and you don't want to steal that what helps them with a reprieve from the struggle that they deal with in life. And you can relate to it. You can almost say, damn, I had an invincible cloak around me, metaphorically speaking, when I was a Christian. I didn't fear death, at least not like I do today. I have a different kind of fear with death today, because I think that's it, And so there's a bit of oh crap, this is going to be the finalities coming up for me. And it's a different kind of fear than it was with, I'm going to pass through this door and I'm going to see my family. Hey, welcome home, Derek. You're back. You're in heaven, Anyway, life can be really, really overwhelming and difficult. But I know that feeling, and I felt like that was what was going to happen to me in the gym. But what sent me into, I could have gone, if there was an emergency room next door, I'd have walked right in there and said, I need your help. Something's wrong with me. I thought it was my blood sugar for the longest time. This goes back years and years and years. And I wondered why I felt calm after eating. So after I'd eat, I'd feel better. And I thought it's got to be blood sugar levels, because the food somehow is now making me feel good again, or normal. And I definitely now realize that's one of the calming things that helps distract you from the panic disorder. And you end up, feeling normal again. And I'm like, oh, wow. Because I had my sugar test several times in the past and it was never out of order. Really weird. Anyway, Michael Hoffman says, my drive-by post, Michael, will never forget you. Man, Bear Pig, only 300K, should be at least 1 million. This channel is gold. Thank you. Thank you, Man, Bear Pig. Eventually it will, give it time. Earth, pharma is the problem. There is a lot of problems with pharma, but there's also some people, and I noticed this in the comment section on that video, if you go read, there are just different people in different kinds of experiences who are trying to handle their own problems in different ways. And you know what? If their life is better and it's helping, then good. That's what recovery is to me. Ultimately, recovery is going down a path of improvement and not devolving, but evolving. Are you going to try mindfulness? Works very well for anxiety. I'm going to try so many things, Reinhard. I'm going to try actually doing meditative, like Buddhist meditative practices. Not that I believe in magic or Buddha walked on water, any of that. Those are cool, fun legends and myths. But the ideas of meditation and trying to calm oneself down and being more at peace reminds me of Sam Harris, actually. He said this, and I didn't realize it till my reaction video channel, which is a whole different channel I started, and it's actually doing really well. We're almost breaking 10,000 subscribers there, and it's doing really good. But Sam Harris, you can tell, practices some meditative kind of thing. Like the dude is calm as I don't know what could piss him off. That's how like calm this guy is. Whatever he has, I want it. And he's clearly tapping into that kind of Eastern philosophy and like going down the path of meditation. James says, also have agoraphobia. Mine gets so bad that my brain tries to tell me I'm going to literally fall into the sky some days. Yeah. Like it's a weird anxiety of fear of what's going to happen. I remember I was in Disney World, and I was at Blizzard Beach, and they had like some 9, 10, 11 story slide. Hold on one second. I even have to be mindful of my breathing while I'm talking to you. I get excited. I want to get it out, but I'm not taking time with my breath. And that's why I know that my breathing patterns need to be, rewired and figure out how to calm my breathing, because that I think is a big part of the trigger that causes me to start feeling panic. But yeah, I was going on that slide and I thought I'm going to fall forward and fall the whole 11 stories, which I wasn't, but it freaked me out. Long distance endurance training definitely helps. Swimming, running, even cycling. I did that today. I've been doing it every day. Going to the gym. Yesterday was the only day I took a rest because my knees are still sore from running miles and I'm icing them. I'm trying to get my knees right. AI agoraphobia. All right. Anthony Kephart, Bible was definitely foretold for these times. Wasn't history, but definitely current times. Okay. Kimchi in your diet would probably be beneficial. I eat kimchi often. I love kimchi, actually. Get a motorcycle. We'll solve all your troubles. Till you get hit, of course. Till you get hit. And then I guess it does solve some of your troubles, right? It's the fear of the fear that can be most crippling. That's what this book is actually teaching me about it. It's the fear of the fear. And it can be any circumstance. Just blood pressure rising in the gym. Death, family struggles, financial struggles, anything, really, anything in life can actually cause people to start having legitimate episodes. And I like the beginning of this book because it goes through a little bit of the history of how the science, like kind of the doctors started to recognize what's going on with patients, and they diagnosed it. They figured out, they gave it names, and it goes through a little bit of the history of it, which is really cool. Bruce Cook says, sorry to hear about your panic episodes. Watched that recent video. Sounded very scary. It's like drowning. I don't even know. Like, wow. Decades. I have a very similar type of anxiety disorder that was exacerbated by a bad LSD experience when I was 16. Dude, decades. You've been around for decades, literally. I think it was from, and I brought up the example of the Adderall abuse that I did. I think it was from that episode where I was up for 5 days with no sleep. I really hurt myself, I think. And ever since then, I have these moments where I don't want to leave the house. I don't feel comfortable. Something's off. I definitely will hand the keys to say, honey, will you drive us? I literally do not feel like driving. I feel like I'm going to have to pull over on the side of the road and like, I don't know how to describe it. And I've been fighting with this and having those experiences for literally 15 years. These episodes where they'd come, but they wouldn't stay. They would just come. They only like recently started to hit hard and hit home recently in the past 3 weeks because I literally had to go to the emergency room, and the best way I described it to the doctor that I could is that when it happens, no rational or logical reasoning can get you out of it. Like, you can't just think your way up. I'm just going to say, I know that this is going to pass and it'll pass. It's like the experience is so intense and there's no way to describe it, that I know it's coming. I've had them 1,000 times, but the experience is always still terrifying and makes you feel like you're going to die. But I didn't know that I had, issue with panic. And I'm like, okay. And I guess like half the problem is realizing that the fear of it makes the panic worse. So you have to tell yourself, shut up. Don't be afraid. It's like you have to like somehow silence the fear in order to overcome it. And there's a lot of tools to do that. So now I'm waiting for some religious people to blame your lack of God. Yeah, well, that happens in the comment section under the video. A lot of people prayed for me, or they said, I respect you, even though we disagree. And I respect them back. I know they mean well, and that's fine. For those who blame my lack of God, it's like, geez, man, like how many religious people suffer with this? Are they just lacking God? And in fact, that happened on Facebook. John DePew, really good friend on Facebook, jumped in while one guy did say that on my video. You just need to seek God. And he goes, do I just need to seek God? Because I seek him every day. And I'm having like legitimate panic disorders. And the guy like was trying to like berate him. I knew not to even comment under the guy, but the guy was trying to berate him. And I'm like, damn, dude. All right, I got some super chats I need to check out. Because I got to go. I got to go in a minute because my son is 16 today. And we surprised him with some gifts. And I want him to be, happy and stuff. And he wants to get some food. And so we're going to get him some food for his 16th birthday. And yeah, it's like wild how old I feel now. Like my oldest is 18. He'll be 19, not long, not too long. So, okay, I'm in the super chat section. I can't see your regular comments. I'll try to come back in a minute. Wade Rogers, brother, drink half your weight in ounces of water each day. By the way, indica makes me mellow, but sativa paranoid. LOL. 300K rocks. Greek literary styles, motifs certainly shaped gospel narratives. No doubt, brother. And thank you. Again, I don't do either. I don't do any marijuana or anything like that. I tried it a long time ago and it did not work for me. And I tried it to get off of opioids. So opiates, opioids, whatever, like painkiller. I was addicted, and that did not help me. I was paranoid either way you slice it. William Arens, good to see you here, and thank you so much for the super chat. The honest disclosure of your physical mental conditions is as important to your well-being as is this community of yours is for free-thinking people. William, 100%. Me telling you guys I am not perfect. I got problems. And like someone out there may not know what this is that they're going through. And I could tell you this, I've gone through hell for 15 years dealing with like nothing like I dealt with recently in terms of like the episodes. That was like 8 months ago in the gym. There were severe episodes, but they went away. Okay. Some of the stuff would like stick around for a minute. And I'm like, yo, chill, But this, like bringing this out, like my addiction channel, which helped, I can't put numbers. I had people in Afghanistan writing me, telling me they helped me get them sober. I had people anywhere in the world, worldwide, watching Derek Lambert's YouTube channel, the recovery channel. And I think, you know what, man, no one deserves to not know what's going on. At least look into it. Someone brought up shame disorder. There's a shame disorder I need to look into more, where some people are perfectionists to the point when they don't quite hit it. It's like anxiety disorder, but it's a different kind of thing, and there's different ways to treat it. And I'm like, yo, if someone out there is struggling with this and they don't know what it is that they have, like me for 15 freaking years, I think I would want to know. Even if the channel is not about that, like I would want to know. And I think that's important, that I'm doing a service by expressing this to people so they don't feel alone. I just do. I really, really do. Doc, dude, Doc personally texted me the other day, and I'm like, thank you for reaching out. Finally, we're directly connected. Congrats on 300K, Derek. At this point, you've deconverted so many folks. I'm shocked the Vatican hasn't labeled your channel the Fifth Horseman. Keep slaying sacred cows, brother. Oh, man. You know, I love being able to critique, and I love to be able to find good in some of this stuff. I think we evolved to adapt, to develop religions, and that they've worked sometimes to our favor and sometimes not. And I like to cherry pick and dig through and find interesting things. But one of my biggest problems, and I talked to a good friend on the phone earlier today with my wife, is the exclusivism. For me, I have such a problem with traditions that are so exclusivistic. They're all like, we have the truth and that's it. And for me, I'm so pluralistic in the sense that, like, look, if we're going to have religions, let's be fair and have them all. Like, why are we trying to destroy all of them? If you're going to go out of your way, then I'm going to pick on you for that. You know, the bully, I'm going to pick on the bully for that kind of thing, if that makes sense for me. So I love the other traditions as well. If I'm going to bring it out, I'm going to bring it out, but you don't have a monopoly on these ancient texts. And we can be critical. We can be scrutinizing, and we could find meaning along the way. But Doc, thank you for texting me and reaching out, and for the super chat and being a member. Like so many people, I really appreciate you, man. Ephraim, congrats, Derek. Found your channel when I was struggling with substance and depression a couple years ago. Wow. Learned a lot over the past couple years. Thank you so much for being an inspiration. Ephraim, look, it's that got me clean. Okay. Let me, Ephraim, you sparked it. I have to say this. I got clean and sober outside of a rehab off of heroin. I was at a lady's house kicking, just terrible. I have stories are on my other channel, Derek Lambert. But when I started the channel and I wasn't alone, and I saw comments like Ephraim going, dude, you helped me today, bro. You got this. Or, you know, this was so encouraging. Or what do you know, like communication and connecting with people, even through the internet, that really helped me, inspired me. It made me feel more purpose and meaning to get clean, stay clean, keep making more videos. And so my encouragement is, if you're not socially shy in terms of being online and being public with your personal life, it's not going to harm anyone in your family. It's not going to hurt your children or something like that. Being publicly open with your own human nature, issues that all of us have, it could be beneficial to have that kind of environment. Now, if you see nothing but negativity and that sucks you in because some troll wants to drop a comment on your video and it makes you like overwhelmingly obsessed with those things, which it doesn't for me, then it may not be right for you, right? But you might want to start a little channel that is documenting your own experience, because there might be one person, literally just one person out there, and you've done something amazing. And that's how I have believed and felt about it myself. And it's turned into something bigger than I thought it was ever going to turn into. And that's same for MythVision. MythVision was just me doing a hobby, talking about things I wasn't hearing enough. And it started off very fringe, of course, a very, very conspiratorial kind of material for the most part. But I gradually descended deeper into rigorous methodology, scholarly, engagement and debate, and read a shit ton over the past 6 years of being on MythVision. Not as much as I wish I could read or magically had installed in my brain. Wouldn't we all like to just go, boop? I have all of this now. I've all the classics, every piece of ancient literature. Yeah, I'd love that. Anyway, Ephraim, I just rabbit trailed off of your super chat. Sorry. Okay, going back up just a little bit here. Sandal says, I think by taking life not too seriously, people will feel better. Facts. But by taking life truly seriously, unseriously, people can focus too. Seriously, unseriously. I think this is some kind of kitchen psychology, man. That's probably true. Jojo freelancer in the house. I may not have kids. Try to be selfish, enjoy my life, and wait till my end. AF Walker, go hardcore, Derek. Go to Sufism. The beloved is waiting for you to visit. Deborah in the house. Deborah, MythVision and lunch. The 13th Ion. Are you gonna try mindful? Okay, I've caught up to where I was. Caffeine withdrawal is tough. No joke. Emotional intelligence, acceptance, and commitment therapy is incredible. Miss stuff. I've got to look at some stuff. I've got some research to do. I'll tell you that. Gotta love YouTube and its bots. They love interactions and creating more bots from our emotions and interaction in the chats. Yes, you can actually talk yourself out of a panic attack if you can recognize them. Absolutely. Any kind of weird feeling I get with my body, and I can tell with my mind, like I start feeling, I realize, breathe. It's okay. You're having one of those. That's kind of what happens. And it doesn't happen every single day. It happens, periodic. It just depends when, like, it happens maybe every 2 to 3 days, maybe every other day, sometimes more often, sometimes less often. It just depends. Good way to chill. Smoke a Camberwell carrot. The channels come to you to gain more bots. Go Pikachu. Unhaunts. Oh yeah, an ice cold shower can work wonders in a panic state. I've been able to go from crisis mode to peaceful within minutes this way. I'm so sorry, man. I've been there. I've been there countless times. Facts. Already covered your super chat, Wade. Find an acceptance and commitments therapy practitioner. I use it personally with my people. If you can get off caffeine, get good sleep, and eat well, and also get outside and get fresh air and sun, just those simple things will reduce your stress immensely in my experience. Facts. Years ago, I listened to a cassette of Deepak Chopra. He was talking about silent witnessing, which is just non-judgmental observation of yourself and how you feel in various circumstances. While I think he is clearly like often la la land sometimes about stuff, there is an aspect about meditation, humming, like there are practices that Eastern philosophies, I think, just pragmatically work. It's like you really should try them out. No matter what you believe, you really should try them out if you're experiencing these kinds of things for sure. Probably, if not even, just to be a more calm, chill kind of human. Because I'm pretty go. Let's see. Pedro in the house. Good to see you, Pedro. Good to see you, man. Yeah, good to see you in the chat. Pedro lives near me. Hopefully we get to link up sometime. And we will, man. Just bear with me. It's been rough lately, We're getting on our feet. Get a cardiac workup from cardiologist. Former drug use warrants it. Also could check urine test for pheochroma. I'm going to have to come back to this. Adrenal tumor. I'm going to have to check this out and come back to this. I don't know how to pronounce half of these words. No, but I'm going to have to come back to this because I would like to get some other tests done as well. Sounds like an imbalance of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. It might be. Let's see. Yo, sup, big dog, big D. Congrats on 300K. I usually don't comment on here, but today I have to. Yeah, man. Good to see you. Feel good. And thank you for commenting, of course. Derek, found your channel. Okay, yep. I got your message here, Ephraim. Derek, everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Chester Bennington. Wow. Derek, would you mind telling us your zodiac sign? I am Gemini. America, made by the East, for they need a Western Hemisphere to Fulani Hill and connect, accept the world and each other. America being the greatest science experiment ever. Look, this is not a good recommendation, but white snus tobacco really helped me 4 months ago with anxiety. Quit after 2 months, though, because I didn't need it. I'm not interested in, like, nicotine. I've been down the nicotine path. I used to dip, and it, like, ate up my gums, and then I used to smoke at one point, cigarettes, when I was younger. And there was a habit there, right? One day I finally committed. Anxiety does kick in. You're much more irritable. You know, you're like, not very happy. But I did break that. Love, light, forgiveness. Hey from Munich. Great channel. Good to see you here. World Spotting. Who in the modern world does not suffer from some type of mental trauma and turmoil? I would like to know who. Well put. Well put. Cool in the house. Love the reviews of the big questions. Thank you. I didn't know if I needed to switch it up on my reaction channel. For those who don't know, MythVision Reacts. You can go over there and subscribe. I'm reacting to all sorts of cool stuff. I think it's cool. Debates that are having. I never knew about the big questions show debate on BBC, but it's turned out to be pretty fun. Hibernate, been addicted to chewing tobacco. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Coke was easier to stop for Man Bear Pig. Let's see. We already got that. I just don't want to miss anyone. God, Anthony, I don't understand where you're coming from, dude. Fake money, laughing my effing ass off. Gotta love the bots and their fake money and illusions or delusions on these live chats. Dude, I know some of these people personally that are super chatting, so they're not fake. I don't understand. I don't know enough about Sufism to give you my comment, to be honest. I want to be respect where I don't know. I don't know. Any isms, though, I'm very, just cautious. Let's be careful. Let's see what they say first. I have nightmares falling into the sky. MD note: TMS can help anxiety by calming the TMS. What is TMS? Doc, you're gonna have to tell me what TMS is here. The overactive circuits in the prefrontal cortex. I feel like that's me. Think of it as physical therapy for your stress pathways and zero pharma. Zero pharma. Wow. Now I want kimchi, someone says. What do you see? People suffering or normal? Okay, I just like it. Let me see. Adderall megadose induced PTSD be wilding. You know what? That might be what that may have really, I think. I can't get over. I was working at a factory in Florida, and I was in a different place in Florida. This was, my God, 15 years ago. And I was working at Train, the air condition unit company, playing around with doing all the Adderall, doing all sorts of stuff. And it was not for medical reasons. It was all me just doing stupid stuff. And I remember the first time I had like the most obvious example of an anxiety panic attack where I felt like I was going to faint on the floor in the workplace. And I think it lasted maybe 60 seconds to 2 minutes or something, like the extreme level of it. But there was still a sense of it after that because you're like worried you're going to faint. That fear of fainting adds to the anxiety, but you don't feel right. And I remember that was like 15 years ago. And it may be because I remember that being the moment where I would feel like not even wanting to go eat or go to the mall or drive. Like, I don't recall before that ever having this issue. I really don't. We're all diagnosing me right now on the channel openly. Like, I'm keeping it 100 with you. I think it's been since that it's caused, like, did something. Red light therapy helps, plus supplements and natural foods that boost serotonin and dopamine. Well, I'm working on the diet. I'm doing. Look, I told the doctor, my primary care doctor, I said, look, when you see me in 90 or 60 days, because we were 2 months out. So when you see me, I'm overweight, little overweight. I got like 20 pounds over what I want to be. I'm at 220. When you see me, I hope in just 2 months, I'm close to 200. I hope. I'm exercising every day. I'm drinking more water. I'm like ready to pee already again. Like, that's how much water I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm eating healthy. I'm sleeping good. Like that, it freaks you out. You want to take good care of yourself. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. Congrats, bro. RIS Academics. Thank you so much for the compliment. our brain is trying to protect you by overshooting the threat. Yes. Exposure in microdoses shows there's nothing to protect you from. That's why I'm like, I thought something was wrong with me. No, you freaking yourself out, dude. Oh, I love group. You don't have to see God because then you die. Okay. Party. Islam formed in 7th century, Derek. I know. I agree. I love your channel. Peace to all. What a great name. Peace to all. I love your channel. I follow Buddhism and I will be sending peace and love your way. I found meditation to be helpful. Well, thank you so much. I definitely will be checking out the gurus in the Buddhist area. And next time I visit Rick Miller, he wants to take me down to like the big Buddhist temple that they have and check out some of their stuff and talk to some of their monks. And I'd like to ask them about the legends of Buddha and be like, hey, now you don't think that literally happened, right? Just to get them to be like, no, good story, good lesson or whatever, just to have a fun conversation with the guys. But I could see Sam Harris doing that, right? Again, Sam, just by listening to him sit there, and he's in a debate, and he's like, first of all, what I'd like to point out is this. And I'm like, dude, this guy is cooler than a bag of ice. I mean, like, he's so relaxed and so calm. Bless me, oh master, with this calmness, please. I need this. If Walker says, I do free urine therapy, give me a minute. Let me see. I'm just trying to catch up to y'all here. Just got here. X Music in the house. Good to see you, X Music. I just wanted to pop in here. I'm about to get off here in just a second. I do not want to leave anyone hanging. Searching Deeper in the house. Thank you for the super chat. Had same issue in 2016 to 2018. My Christian friend, I asked him to pray for me. I was terrified. The instant his hand touched me, that episode instantly stopped. It was so weird. Well, I'm glad it stopped. I'm glad it stopped. If even if you believe that that's what did it, look, it sucks, ladies and gentlemen. If you have never experienced it, it really, really sucks. So I don't care, whatever. I mean, as long as it stops and as long as you're better, that's good news, right? At the end of the day. Hibernate writes, me when sensing crushing vasoconstriction level anxiety, head outside the border of the bed for like 5 minutes. Probably not healthy, though. I don't understand that one. Muggles Cake Sniffer. Congratulations, Derek. I hope this makes you feel good after everything that went bad. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good too. And that's what I realized I should have emphasized more on my last stream, but my camera only goes for 30 minutes. And I noticed it was about to time out, because the other thing I wanted to talk about was the things I'm grateful for, the things that are positive things in my life. And I want to start noticing those and paying attention to those more. Negative, try to put out of my mind. Positive, try to put in. Focus on the good. That's where I'm at. So I'm trying to get my mind, definitely on track there, because it's easy to focus on negative. Easy. What is it? A scholar will write a book. In fact, this is something that we've experienced with Dennis MacDonald. Trying to find one of his books I got back here. Let's just go with this book here, right? Must the synoptics remain a problem? But in his books on mimesis criticism, right, he has some great observations for potential Homeric parallels. And scholars I've spoken to have told me, you know what the problem is that some of them aren't as powerful, aren't as strong, and that scholars look for the weak links and try to discredit his entire hypothesis, because some of the examples he might give may not be adequate or as strong or make the most sense of that example in the Gospels. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate, because, he has some excellent work that he shows. So it's easy to notice the negativity or find a criticism of somewhere where someone's wrong, and ignore maybe the vast good they bring to the table, positive that they bring to the table, or insights that they have. And so even with Dennis, I asked Dennis, what do you think about that, issue? Dennis goes, I don't even think every example I give is accurate or for sure. Like, I'm not confident in every example I give. I just postulate it as a potential. Well, that's relieving to hear, but it's sad that most scholars don't work that way. All right, I got some supers here, and then I am going to dip. Inquisitive Mind in the house. My boy, the Ghost of MythVision, 300K. Congratulations from the Ghost of MythVision. Inquisitive Mind, love you, man. Don't worry, we're getting Robert Hoyland down here soon. We're going to talk about the history of early Islam. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff with him I've got the studio here right behind your camera. And so I am definitely looking forward to digging more into the history. And of course, thank you. You know who you are. Dan, Dave, thank you so much for that. Great job on Alexander romance story in the Quran. Quran is full of myths and fables and causing so much trouble, misery in the world. Hats off to you. Dan, thank you so much. I think it actually is kind of interesting to me. Like, I actually find it kind of cool that I'm finding all these legends, myths, folklore, hagiography in the Quran. It's fascinating to me. And you have to go, like, how early on did people really think this is literal history? Or were they inheriting something that Christians and Jews already were telling as something that was supposed to be believed as if it happened? I don't know. There's so many questions, I have about it, but I really appreciate that support. I'm going to do more. The next one I want to do is with Moses and Kadir. I think that's how you pronounce it. Kihdr, something like that. And that one is also Alexander romance, lifted from the Alexander romance, where Alexander and his chef or his cook appear at a fountain, a body of water, depends on which version of the romance or the legend that you are reading. And when they do, the cook goes to wash the salty fish that's dead, and it comes back to life. And the cook gets immortality. So it's kind of like a spin-off of Gilgamesh, and with Christian elements, because the water in this case, baptismal water, is likely a Christian innovation, with Alexander as a monotheist in the legends. He is not a Amun-Ra polytheist pagan who, has relationships with both sexes and all of that. That's completely missing from Arabia. They have no clue about the real history. It appears they have no idea about the real history of Alexander the Great. They're inheriting an already kosherized, an already halal version of Alexander. The Quran just erases the names. It doesn't want to say Alexander. You get early, exegetes who do, but I love learning this stuff about the Quran, and it's like everywhere. Everyone's doing it, including all the Abrahamic faiths. Dan again says, you need to address Muslim claim of Abraham building the Kaaba. It is a lie. I know it's not historically true. That's for sure. Trust me. That is not a fact. Yeah. Ramadan fasting, Hajj pilgrimage is all pre-Islamic paganism. So this is something I need to dive into more, and I'm going to try and approach it from an academic area, as you know. You want to just be cautious about where and where your investigations are coming from. As long as there's primary source material and you're seeing that there's legitimate bona fide reasons to suggest some of this stuff, it's obvious. To me, the Black Stone, there was so much of that going on in the ancient world. Yeah, it came from heaven. I mean, all of that already pre-existed. And I think Herodotus is already mentioning this kind of stuff in the 5th century BCE. The sacred Black Stone, I believe he talks about this. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong for you historian gurus who are always in the chat. But the Arab peoples have had this for a very, very long time. The biggest one, I'll say this though, on the whole Dorkarnain video, the biggest, oh my gosh, kind of flub, they really fumble this, is when the Islamic academics throughout history said there were 2 Alexanders, and one was back here with Abraham, and the other one was the pagan one, the Macedonian Alexander. And then they invented a genealogy to try and act like they can go back to this earlier Alexander, which no records anywhere ever say. Like, other than this Islamic exegete, which later on probably found out, I mean, this is speculation, but I don't mind speculating, probably found out that Alexander the Great isn't who they thought he was. So they needed it to be a righteous one. Oh, and a monotheistic one. So they go back in time and they put him back here. Thank you, Dan. Momo in the hizzy. Great job with the Dor Carnane. Thank you. Thank you. More to come. Just give me time. I have to script them, and I want to script them right. And then Dan Dave again. Thank you for being a member. Islamic eschatology is Muslim Jesus joining hands with Mahdi to fight Gog and Magog, who were trapped behind a wall by Alexander the Great. What a joke. Isn't that amazing how apocalyptic it is? Also, if you haven't read Tommaso Tessai's book on this, it's really good. It's really worth reading, and why he redates the Alexander legend, which is called the Neshana. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Neshana. He dates it to Justinian the First in the mid 6th century. So the 500 in like 50s, 530s to 550s. A couple decades at least before the birth of Muhammad, to almost a whole generation before the birth of Muhammad. This was already there. And it was almost a jab. That legend is a jab at Justinian and how he falls short as an emperor. So it's a political satire, in a sense, against Justinian. And it finds its way into the Quran. And of course, the reason why scholars think it was dated to the 630s is Heraclius, the emperor Heraclius, gets inserted into that legend. And he thinks it's an interpolation due to linguistics, all sorts of stuff. But at least it's around the same time as Muhammad, or as he makes the case, and it's been persuasive to many other academics who are expert specialists in the Syrian text of this material, that it actually should go back to Justinian the First. That is fascinating to me, because that puts it well before the Quran's writing, and would have the oral tradition of passing this along, especially with a merchant whose wife was a merchantess, if you can call her that. Like, it's coming down in Arabia, and it finds itself as sacred literature. So it's really interesting to learn all this stuff. I'm like, wow. Alexander romance is a respin, as I said in this last documentary, of Gilgamesh in some respects. And I find that amazing. Gilgamesh still hitting hard into the 7th century in its own little indirect ways. Like, it may not be Gilgamesh himself, but I did get an email back from Tommaso Tessai recently. Good news. I want to interview him when he gets his latest book he's working on out. But I would not be shocked. He didn't tell me the details, but he's working on Gilgamesh and more material that hasn't been discussed, hasn't been discovered or talked about pertaining to this. And I hope it's more of how the importance of even Gilgamesh during this period later. How deep does Gilgamesh go, right? I say way deep. I mean, I think Moses, I'm starting to look at the Moses story different. Moses traveling in the desert for 40 days and going into this faraway land and meets a body of water. And like, there's a woman at a well that he's trying to like, that is like Gilgamesh going through the tunnel of the earth between the two cherubim, if I can call it that. They're the scorpion men. And he goes through to the other side. He meets a woman at this body of water. And there's just a lot of interesting overlap that I kind of wonder if Moses is lifting from Gilgamesh. I need to do a little deeper investigation, but I think it is. Diamond Encrusted Abdullah, good to see you here. The Kaaba is the black cube of Saturn. It's black magic, my child. Hubal is God. He is a fallen angel from Andromeda. And then also Alexander the Great is a wizard of the occult. Thank you so much for the super chats. I don't know about those answers there, but look, I appreciate you nonetheless. You're helping support what we're doing here. And for that, I can't argue with you. Okay. I appreciate it. The love and the respect. Look, I'm coming to you, everybody. Oh, we got one more by you. You said, Muhammad said was a prophet because he is also a Freemason. Hubal's throne is at Mecca. He is Zeus, the moon god. I am Apollo Christ, who is king of Israel. All right. Oh, Muhammad said Alex was a prophet. Yes, I would imagine Alexander the Great was seen as a prophet because the Alexander legend already views him as one and an important figure. Green tea, I had some yesterday. I'm taking it slow because I'm worried about the anxiety. You know, Jack Sparrow, is Kurt okay? Moment by moment. Right now, Kurt, I think, is much, much better than what he's been, but I'm hoping he maintains being okay. I'm trying, Jack. I don't know, doing the best. And I'm just hoping, like seriously hoping that my brother, finds the serenity, finds peace, finds happiness like I have in life. And that don't mean it's perfect. I got some problems. You know what I mean? Life is tough. But I don't know. I love him. I love him more than he even realizes. And that might be why I'm hard on him too sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, bro, I expect more. You come on, I'm trying to help you. Boof the tea? Mandy, bro. I would expect the satirist to say that. You know what I mean? Aries, Aurelian, clean water from the source of the Jordan is the best drink. I don't know how clean that water is, bro. I've been in the Jordan River. I tell you, it wasn't too clean. It wasn't too clean. Well, that's weird. Maybe he got in an argument or something on the phone or whatever, and then had to get off. I don't know. He took off to try and find someone. Lady, that's weird. Boof the truth. Dan Dave, Greco-Buddhism would be great to cover. Yes. Greeks were the first to physically represent Buddha, Hindu gods, which changed Indian religions forever. There is like a 1st, 2nd century BC, maybe Common Era, Buddha that they found in Egypt, I believe, and it was a Hellenistic one, but I can't remember. That's wild. I'll have to ask him about that. Diamond encrusted Abdullah, I am Jesus Christ, my child. Quran chapter 3 is me. My friend, I want to encourage you, brother. I really do. I want to be like, just go. I don't know. I would just try to talk to someone, go see a professional or something, because you're scaring me with these super chats. I'm not going to lie, man. And I really, really want the best for you. It means, it worries me because I know other people who suffer from other things that give kind of comments that you're giving here. And I care. And I don't want to see you, not get the help you might need, bro. It sounds like you might need some help. Make the Myth. Great name. Love the name. Great channels, Derek. Don't stop creating, broski. Love the broski's comment. Let me see here. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Kid's birthday. I literally have 30 minutes, but I'm going to get off early, go drink some water. Want to keep cooking. Just thought I'd come in and say thank you, because without you, we would not have 300,000 subscribers. And I'm most of all thankful, humbled that there are this many people who are interested. Never saw this getting here this big. Just doing what I like. And it grew. And you are part of that. So number one, thank you. Number two, I wanted to give you an update on my health and like what I'm doing to try and help take care of myself and, staying sober-minded, focused, and breathing and all of this stuff. And when I feel something, breathe. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know I had tools that could help me alleviate these symptoms. Most of all, realizing that it's fear that's causing the BS for me. Anyway, so I wanted to do that too. DeVos says, Robyn Faith Walsh on the channel soon. I would hope. She's so busy. Every time I email, she's so busy. She's got a lot going on. And when she does, she says, hey, we'd have to plan it way out. And I'm like, okay, look, I don't want to bother you because I feel like a lot of scholars are extremely busy. but maybe I could try to make something happen sometime soon because I love learning from her. She's brilliant. She's got some excellent insights. So yeah. Love you all with equally bad judgment. Great news, Patricia says. Thank you, Patricia. I swam a mile today, so did the physically. Wow, that's a good swim. That's a lot. That's a long swim. Tom, big fan of MythVision. I watch all the videos. Thank you so much. Let me see. If you need to talk to someone about your sobriety, hit me up. Dude, I'm talking to you guys now, but yeah, if I do, obviously, again, one of the fears one of my friends had, and rightly so, because there's so many just people who are ugly out there, and the way that they literally will try to, use this as a weapon. I'm chilling. I'm good, and I'm going to stay good. And there's going to be haters, and the haters are going to hate. But what I found the most, Devos, and I hope I'm saying that correctly, is when you open up and talk, there's way more people who are real, who have real problems that are real, and then the fake ones that are trolls. The trolls online that are trolling are fake. You literally have to it's almost like the Waterboy movie. And you remember the guy who had a fear when the guy came and took the other coach took his game plans on how to do the plays and all. And he's like, I can't come up with any plays. I'm terrified. And Adam Sandler's like, talking with him. And he goes, how do you overcome this? And he goes, I just picture and imagine he's Insano Man, or that, it's my mom saying foosball sucks, or water sucks, or foosballs of the devil, whatever. And then he tackles them. Well, you almost have to just identify people who are like that start trolling and just be like, just like the movie The Waterboy, where you just see them as like poor little kid, little child, little infant, and it's so funny when you do that. It's like, water off a duck's back. Don't let negativity grab you is all. So it will happen. People will do that. Guaranteed from my video, people will try to make this some gotcha. And at the end of the day, you know what? There are so many more real people who want real things in this world, and they are what matter to me. And I don't care what they believe at the end of the day. I really don't. It's not my job and duty. I'm on a journey. Okay. And they are too. That's what matters to me. And that's why I've tried, even in the past year, to be like, man, I've kept engaging apologetics and stuff. And it would cause me my equilibrium, because I'm having to be ugly or rough back, and it's not me. You know what I mean? I don't want to hurt people. I really don't. I want to see people not be hurt, if anything, which can get me, to be protective and whatnot, into trouble. Mukunda, my brother, good to see you here. Proud of you, man. Love your work and keep it going. Mukunda. Did I say that right? Mukunda. I don't want to mispronounce your name. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel if you haven't already. But I'm going to be reaching out to you at some point here, man, because some of the Eastern philosophies and meditations and stuff, I'm going to need some pointers and guiding on this kind of stuff. Maybe you have some tips because of what's been going on and trying to take care of my health. I want to be more mindful, more relaxed, and Hinduism inside and out, and the various kind of interesting variations of that. So I'll be hitting you up, bro. I will be hitting you up. Did I miss anything else? Are we good? Let me see. Don't forget to bring it when you lift. Did I miss something? He watched Waterboy early on cable. I was watching it too. Vicky Valancourt is hot. Patricia, LOL. Congrats. Devo says, yeah, I've been sober for years, a lot of ups and downs, but it's been worth it. 100%. Just past my 10-year mark, bro. I'm super, super happy. Yes, you're saying my name right. Devos. I hope I'm saying that properly. I love novels. Thank you. Love y'all. Love y'all. Save the Earth says, love your videos, man. I don't watch them all, but I am 100% rooting for you to have continued success. And for that, thank you. That means the world to me. I really, really do appreciate all of you. And I thank you so much for being here, hanging out with me. 300K? No, to 400 to 500. Let's get to 1 million people watching MythVision. Grow this thing. And yeah, I really appreciate you. I'm going to go spend some time with the family. It's my son's birthday. And yeah, I hope all well-being. And until next time, we are MythVision. Mukunda, last minute. This rarely happens. Hit me up whenever I texted you a few days ago. I can definitely give you some tips. I didn't see your texts. Forgive me. MythVision.
Son, do you want to know what the truth is? After this, there's no turning back. You take the blue pill and you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to. You take the red pill and you stay in Wonderland. And I show you just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more.